Hold on a second. We'll exhaust ourselves. No, we're going to exhaust ourselves here. Just a second. Let's conserve our energy. As the evening goes on, you may need it. We've never done this before.
First time.
Number one.
First time.
We've never been on stage before together, alone.
Never.
We don't quite know what to do.
That's true. That's true. Wave at me.
He says wave at him.
Who said that?
Well, he does something with his hands that I can't do. No, I didn't mean raise the hand. I mean part the fingers. Look, we're starting a comedy routine already. Look at that. I can't do that. Will you show me how to do that, please? Well, that's as much.
Took me years of diligent practice and self-denial to learn how to do that.
No wonder I can't do it. Well, what we thought.
Practicing.
Well, I beg your pardon?
Better start practicing.
I better start practicing. All right. What we thought we'd do is this. We'd talk to you for a couple of minutes beforehand. Can you all hear us way down there in the popcorn concession there? Okay. What we thought we'd do is the two of us would stand out here and introduce ourselves. This is Leonard Nemoy.
All right. And this is my captain and my friend, William Shatner.
Mine was louder than yours.
So far, I think we're doing okay.
Okay, now, so that's why one of us is going to get off, and one of us is going to leave the stage for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Wait a minute, who's in charge here?
They are. so that you'll get to know the individual out on stage. Hang on a minute, just a moment now. Get
A little respect for the captain. Come on.
You get control real quick. So one of us will go off for about 10 minutes, and you'll get to know one of us. Then the other will come out, the other will go off 10 minutes, and then we'll spend the rest of the time together. That's the way we thought it would work, so why not? It'll work just well. Now,
Who goes first?
the only question is,
Who goes first?
Who goes first? Wait a minute. I have a coin. What do you want, heads or tails?
Heads.
You want heads. Okay. Heads or tails? Okay? Ready? Now, the only thing is, Leonard, you're wearing your glasses and I'm not wearing mine.
So if I lie, you won't know. Unless I agree with you, and you won't know. I said heads.
Heads?
I got tails. You're
Goodbye.
on first. See you
Okay.
later.
It really is the first time we've appeared on stage together. We've in our own individual ways have played in front of a large group of people, although this is enormous and I can't just even begin to understand why you're all here, but I thank you for being here. He says with some false modesty, but it is an honor for us to see so many of you here. But the truth of the matter is, Leonard and I have never appeared on stage together in an ad-lib situation. Although, a couple of months ago, we did a reading of a play together, a new play. It so happens that I helped write it. I collaborated on it. And it's a play that we might do together sometime in the short future. So, although this is the first time, let's hope it's not the last time. I've known Leonard for 25 years. They tell me, although I have no recollection, that we appeared together in a small television show, A Man from U.N.C.L.E. or something like that was on years and years ago, that too long for most of you to remember. But, well, you've seen the reruns then. But in that 25 years, I've come to know him, and I love him very much. He's a wonderful, wonderful man in every sense of the word. Yesterday, the whole cast was together. We were at a famous movie theater in Los Angeles. It used to be called the Grauman's Chinese Theater. Now it's the Man's Chinese Theater. That sounds a little too common, so they call it the Chinese Theater. Now, once you've seen a movie there, you want to see it again very rapidly. And we were, the whole cast was there because they wanted us to put our names at the, I'm going to call it the Grauman's Chinese Theater, in the front of the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And so, thank you. And so we all were there to do something that is so special. Leonard has a star on the walkway there, the star on Hollywood Boulevard, and I have one there too. And that was really an honor, and we're very delighted to have done that. But they asked us to sign our names in cement. I had my jackhammer there. In cement at the Grauman's Chinese Theater, and as I was signing my name, I looked over at the square next to it, and it was Marie Dressler, and Wally Beery, and Norma Shearer, great stars of the silent and the early talkies. I was so impressed with myself. Here's how they had it divided. They had this big square, And they had the top square up here, my name. Next square over here, Leonard's name. In the center, taking up the 2 squares, was DeForest Kelley. Now, nobody said anything resentful about it. Nobody said anything. We all were too well-mannered for that. But I'm sure I wasn't the only one who looked askance and said to himself, why is DeForest got 2 squares? DeForest was so impressed with himself. What I'm about to tell you is the God's truth. He wrote DEFOROT in cement. He forgot to spell his name. The man is too old to do any more movies. I love DeForest almost as much as I love our next guest, Leonard Nemoy.
What I remember about yesterday is it's true. DeForest Kelley's name is about that big, and it left out the S. But George Takei, who plays obviously Sulu on Star Trek, thinks he's a Vulcan, and he must have had an operation on his hand, because his hand has been in permanent condition like this, permanently. Wherever he goes, his hand is like that, see. They asked Jimmy Doohan, is this the last Star Trek movie? Jimmy Doohan has a 3-word reply. It's a ploy. Jimmy, do you think the studio really means it this time? Is this really the final Star Trek film? It's a ploy. Jimmy, what's your name? It's a ploy. They're great people, great people. A couple of weeks ago, the Variety magazine, which is our daily show business newspaper in Los Angeles, very famous. You've probably heard of Variety. They tell all the news about what's going on in our business in television and films, theater, radio, music. And they ran a section that had to do with the 25th anniversary of Star Trek, because this is our 25th anniversary this year. They keep reminding us of that, trying to make it. And they did a wonderful thing. I remember about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month after we went on the air, I was riding with Bill in an open car down Hollywood Boulevard in the annual Thanksgiving parade. They have this parade that every year, and they ask celebrities, people who are on the new TV shows and what have you, and some of the very old and famous film stars come out, and you ride in a convertible down the street, and there are thousands and thousands of people lining Hollywood Boulevard. It's a big community event. And along the way, they have people with microphones announcing who's coming. Well, here he comes now, star of such and such. Here he is, so-and-so. And here comes the star of Columbo, Peter Falk. And hey. And as we were driving down the street, we're riding side by side. Here they come, the stars of the new television series, science fiction series just went on the air, Star Trek. Here they are, William Shatner and Leonard Nemoy. I swear. And Bill turned to me and said, you'll remember that for a long time. I still remember it. Now, the reason I mention it is because they published in Variety last week, they republished the review that Variety gave us when we first went on the air in September of 1966. And I thought you'd enjoy hearing what our show business Bible said about us the first week we went on the air. This was dated September, it appeared on September 14th, 1966, just a little over 25 years ago. said Star Trek with William Shatner, Leonard Nemoy. And the rest, DeForest Kelly, Nichelle Nichols, Grace Lee Whitney, George Takei, and so forth. And producer Gene Roddenberry, director Mark Daniels. And it says NBC, Thursdays at 8:30, 60 Minutes, and it says Star Trek won't work. That's the opening line. Then it says an incredible and dreary mess of confusion, trudged on for a long hour, with hardly any relief from violence, killings, hypnotic stuff, and a distasteful, ugly monster. This was a show about a salt sucker, wasn't it? Then it goes on to say, by a generous stretch of the imagination, it could lure a small coterie of the small fry. The performers are in there pitching, but the odds are against them in all departments: script, direction, and overall production. William Shatner, William Shatner appears wooden, it says. I didn't say it, it says it here, right? I've never heard him accused of being wooden before. You know. Spock! Scotty! I need warp speed in 4 minutes, we're all dead. Then it says, the same goes for Leonard Nemoy. Co-starred as Mr. Spock. Listen to this. So-called chief science officer whose bizarre hairdo, etc., is a dilly. The bottom line is the biggest guessing game is figuring out how this lowercase Fantasia broke into the schedule. Is that great? I just got a fan letter. Dear Mr. Nemoy, I'm an avid moviegoer and a big fan of your acting. Both my wife and I have enjoyed Dr. Spock in all the Star Trek programs. Thank you very much. They were good times. They were good times. There are obviously a lot of questions that Bill and I have been asked over the last number of years about Star Trek, and I think probably those questions are still of interest to some of you here tonight. I wonder how many of you are under 25? That actually means that you weren't even born when we went on the air with Star Trek. What are you so proud of? Like you had something to do with it? So I think maybe if Bill wants to come back, I remember all the years that we were making the series. When I would have to get to the studio at 6:30 in the morning, every morning, and to start to get the makeup on, because my makeup took a little longer than Bill's, a lot longer than Bill's. And Bill would show up around 7 or 7:15, as I recall. And by that time, I'd have the ears on, they'd be working on the eyebrows, and very sleepy. And Bill would come in, oh, I gotta tell you what happened last night. Oh, my horse, and my wife, and my kids. And then I went down the street in the car, and the thing went this way, and the thing went that way. Leonard! Okay.
Well, I felt that I had to wake you out of your stupor. He gets the ears on and he goes to sleep. I don't understand it. It has a sedative. We should have put the ears on the horse. Those days back in the makeup room 25 years ago. Interesting time.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's start with 25 years ago in the makeup room. You laugh. But how much trouble did you have with those ears?
I tell you, the days were long, and the work was hard, and the ears were not very comfortable. They itched, and I remember hot summer days, 66, 67, 68, when we'd be shooting for 12 hours for the day. And in the afternoon, after lunch, boy, you'd learn to eat a light lunch, because if you ate a heavy lunch, you'd get so drowsy in the afternoon, and it was hard to stay sharp. And I don't know if you remember the day we were shooting a scene. I don't know if we ever talked about this. We were shooting a scene where Bill and I are in a room. A couple of guys walk in, bad guys, and we have a fight with them. And it's bam, 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 and I pinch a guy, and he hits a guy, and the guys are down on the floor. And then after they hit the floor, we have some more dialogue for about 30 or 40 seconds. What are you going to do about this? I don't know, Captain, I think I have an idea. It's logical if we do that. So yes, Spock, I think I'll go this way, and you go that way. And we go out the door, and the scene is going to be over. So we rehearse it, and we do the dialogue. The guys come in, we have this big fight. I pinch this guy, Bill hits that guy, then he hits this guy, and then he hits that guy, and he hits both guys, he hits all the guys, and they're all... The two stunt men drop to the floor like they're supposed to. The camera's rolling now. They drop to the floor like they're supposed to. And we start our dialogue. And right in the middle of the dialogue, I say, Captain, I think we better go here. He says, Spock, you go that way. I say, logical, Captain. And I heard,
Stuntman.
And we're trying not to break up.
Stuntman's lying under the table. He has to...
Fell asleep.
He has to lie still for 3 minutes. He fell asleep during our scene. He started snoring.
We both heard it. We both knew exactly what it was. And by the look in his eye, I knew that he knew what it was.
And by the twitch in his ear, I knew that he knew what it was.
But we're both trying very hard to get the scene done without breaking up, see? So you can imagine.
And we left in our separate ways, fell out of the door, and started hysterically laughing, which woke the stuntman up, and he was in a foul humor from then on. It was really funny. I don't know, if somebody hands you something and walks away quickly, that's very suspicious. And when it ticks as well, I mean... Besides which, I haven't got my glasses on, so I can only see...
I'm not going to tell you what it says.
Okay. They're probably trying to convert us to something or other.
What do you tell people when people ask me a lot? I'm sure they ask you. What do you tell people when they ask you what's your favorite episode? Anybody here want to know the answer to that question?
Well, you can imagine that after 25 years, you're welcome. You paid your $18 as well. I mean, what the heck?
But they're very polite. No, they're very polite.
You're right, but I suddenly realized that I had my back to them, and
they're very polite. These over here, I don't know about, but they're very polite. Wait a minute.
After 25 years, you can imagine that. That was very observant of you.
They couldn't see you.
See, I told you he's a thinking, feeling.
No. I got mental telepathy.
You got your glasses on. After 25, I'll start this again with slap. After 25 years, you can imagine the number of times we've been asked a number of questions. One of the big questions I keep getting asked is, has anybody asked you a question I haven't asked you? What question haven't I asked you? But in any case, the favorite episode question is one of the big questions. So I've developed a stock answer. So I'm going to give you the stock answer, and then I'll give you an answer that I have never told anybody. Well, it's the 25th anniversary, and I figure it's time. The stock answer is, I can't remember the episode, it's been so long. It's those episodes in which I played double roles. The most difficult difficult things to do, to act to yourself and not know what's going on. And then, of course, the fact that these segments were shot so quickly, you hardly ever got to see the script. So one day I walked in, and there I was required to play a girl in my body. How do you do that? What emotional memory do you call on for that? And you have to jump into these things so that's my standard answer. But let me tell you what my real answer is, that I haven't spoken to Leonard about. If ever, it's been a long, long time, that he's long since forgotten the conversations, but not the episode. And everything I say will come clear. In the first year, we were doing an episode and working very hard. All of us had gotten to know each other, feeling our way through our relationships, both personally and professionally. And my father died in the first year of that. Now that's many years ago, and my memory of my beloved father now is one of joy and purity, and I remember him wonderfully. And the grief has long since gone, and just the joy of having known him, having loved him, and him having loved me remains. That's what happens to those of you too young to know what real grief is yet. But at that moment in time, the pain was awful. My beloved father had died across the country, and I was going to have to fly. It had happened in the morning. I was going to have to fly there in the afternoon, and I had several hours in which I had nothing to do but wait for an airplane. And it was getting close to lunch, and they said, let's break for lunch and everybody go home. We'll not shoot today. Bill is leaving. And I said to the stage manager, to the production manager, please don't. The plane doesn't leave until 5 or 6 in the evening. I don't know what I'll do with myself for these remaining hours. Please let's continue to shoot. And so at the end of lunch, after the tears and the anguish, we started again on the scene that we had been rehearsing all morning. And I couldn't remember a line. The emotion had made me forget. And all that I remember in 25 years to this day is the closeness that Leonard had towards me, not only emotionally, but actually, like I've seen film on elephants that support the sick and the dying with their bodies. Leonard was close to me. And the cinematographer, Jerry Finneman's father, who had been a cinematographer, had also died on the set some years before. Between Jerry Finneman and Leonard Nemoy, that afternoon was able to pass, and I went to fly to my father, warmed by their love and affection. That was my favorite episode. I've never said that.
I remember it very well. I remember the day very, very, very clearly. As a matter of fact, I remember what episode it was. It was the episode we were shooting was Devil in the Dark. With the Horta. Remember the Horta?
That's interesting.
It was a very touching experience, but Bill has a very dangerous sense of humor. And I remember very, very much that we kind of herded around him to let him feel that there was somebody close by, if he wanted to talk or whatever he wanted to do. We actually intruded on his space is what we did. But I remember it very well. And then I remember that when he flew away, you probably don't remember this, when he flew away to go to the services for his dad, we then went ahead and shot the one scene where Spock gets in touch with the Horta's mind. And the Horta is this creature that which is the mother of the eggs that are being destroyed. I'm sure you've seen it and recall the episode. The Horta was in great pain. Porter was in great pain, which we discover because Spock mind melds with it. And as Spock gets in touch with this thing, he starts to experience the pain that the Horta is experiencing. And I think I'd said something like, pain, pain, something. It went something like that. We shot that, and Bill was not there to see it. When he came back 2 days later, as I recall, I think it was about 2 days went by, now we had to film Bill, shots of Bill, as though he would be watching me do that. And those pieces of film would be intercut later with the pieces of film of me actually doing it. So when the camera was being set up on Bill to show his reaction, I started to rehearse it. And I said, Bill, I was over here, and I put my hands on the thing, and I said, pain, pain. And he said, well, wait, just a minute. Says the director, I wish Leonard would do it for me so I could really see what I'm reacting to, you know. And I said, well, Bill, you really, I mean, I was over here, and I said, pain, pain. No. I said,
now, I remember, do the line,
yeah.
And we'll see if I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to really do it?
Yeah.
I tell you.
Hold on. I wanted to, because there's an aftermath to this story. I want you to understand. Now, you understand, he did all his part separately during those 2 days. I come back, I've just buried my father, okay? I want to show everybody that it's still me, I'm back here, in charge of my mind, everything's okay. So I said, Leonard, do the thing for me. Do it full out now.
Right.
Don't just say pain, pain.
No.
Do it. And this is what happened. You're on the set now. And I'm looking off at the Horta.
Pain. Pain.
Get that man an aspirin.
I dug this out of my garden today. I did. We have been asked over and over and over again.
I see you have a white thumb.
No, yeah. No, this is very, I cleaned it up. Okay. I cleaned it up nice because I wanted to bring it here to show to people tonight. To show to you tonight. We have been asked time and time again, did you know in 1966, when you started working on the Star Trek series, did you know, could you have imagined that 25 years later, you would still be making these films and there would be a new series called The Next Generation, that this thing would last all these years? Did you know? Yeah. That's right. I dug this up out of my garden today because I wanted to bring it here and answer that question properly for you and these friends of ours, because I buried this in my garden in 1966. I did. It says right here, not to be opened until December 1991. Says it. If they can't see it, come and see me after the show, and I'll show it to you. Come up real close. Yeah.
Room 301.
Says here, September 1966. That's the date I wrote this. It says it right there. I predict there will be 3 seasons of this Star Trek series. Then we will be canceled by NBC after 79 episodes. The series will do extremely well in syndication. I even knew that. And in 1979, we will make Star Trek the Motion Picture, followed by 5 sequels. It says it right here. Star Trek VI will open to great response on December 6th, 1991. Yeah. There will also be an additional TV series called Star Trek The Next Generation, which will be very successful. This letter should be read in public for the first time on the weekend of the opening of the Undiscovered Country. Now, wait a minute. Preferably in Sacramento, California. Hey, come here.
He is such a
Does
liar.
it say Sacramento, California right there? Tell Bill, what's it
How can
say?
you take your audience?
Doesn't
like
it say
that?
Sacramento, California right there?
That's your sister. I, on the other hand, had no idea. Why didn't you tell me?
I thought you knew.
No, we had no idea what was going to happen.
One of my favorite episodes was when Bill was split into two, when Kirk was split into two Kirks. There was a mean Kirk, there was a nice Kirk. And halfway through the story, the mean Kirk has got the phaser, and he's going to kill the nice Kirk. And if he does, we'll never get Humpty Dumpty back together again. So the script was written that Spock comes up behind, sneaks up behind the mean Kirk, and hits him on the head with the butt of a gun. That's what was written in the script. So I said to the director, I think we should do something different than that. He said, what do you mean? What do you have in mind? And I said, well, Spock is a graduate of the Vulcan Institute of Technology, where he took a number of courses in human anatomy. And the Vulcans have a kind of energy that comes off their fingertips, which, if properly applied to the appropriate pressure points on the human anatomy, will render a human unconscious. The guy didn't know what I was talking about. But I told him, and he knew exactly what I was talking about. And when I came up behind him and I put my hand on his neck, he's the one that sold it. He went like that and dropped like a rock.
You know, through those segments, it became a running joke, really, as to how strong Spock really was. You know, 5 guys would come and attack the 2 of us, and he'd pinch one. And in the beginning, he'd take a short swing at least one other, leaving me 3 to deal with. But as the series got on, and he became a little more relaxed and a little, you know, the years went on, and he became a little more lethargic.
Cooler.
He'd pinch one guy and stand back and watch. And these stuntmen would beat the heck out of me. I thought this was really flashy. The bad guy would be coming, and I'd do a flying kick like you see in professional wrestling, where you fling your leg up, and the other guy flops over. Well, I got kind of used to doing that. That was Kirk's thing. I mean, I'd throw myself at the guy, and the guy would drop dead with a flying kick. So one day, on vacation, on hiatus, I had taken my kids to one of those places where you drive cars. You know, kids get in the cars, you race around the track.
Yeah.
So I was racing around
Go-kart
place. I was racing around, and I'm kind of like Big Daddy, and my 3 kids are up in front of me, and I'm guarding my kids so nobody racing by. Suddenly somebody races by, almost hits my child. Okay? 6 minutes is up, all the cars come in. I walk over to the guy. I said, wait a minute, what are you doing? This guy gets out of his car. He's a monster. I said, now look, those are my kids. And he's joined by 3 guys. They said, oh yeah, smart ass. So for a second, I thought I was Captain Kirk. I was ready, and I was just about to launch myself into one of those kicks when my mind clicked ahead. Who's made the law where an equal and opposite reaction?
It's a Newton law.
That's a Newton law.
Yeah.
I felt if I lifted myself and I pushed, I'd fall to the ground. And the 3 guys would kick me to death. So I started talking very quickly. Oh yeah, well I was just that, my finger in the air.
Yeah. What do you remember about the city on the edge of forever?
Joan Collins. Little Joni. Little Joni before it all happened.
How many times did Kirk get the girl?
All the time, Leonard. Joan Collins was a beautiful girl. City on the Edge Forever was a good show.
Were you jealous when I got the girl on this side of paradise?
I wanted her back. I wanted to sniff those flowers. It's flies!
He's mean. He's really mean. I've been telling people this for years. Now, I want you to believe me tonight. I'm not kidding. He's mean. He's a mean person. He stole my bicycle. Yeah.
I didn't steal
Yes,
your
he did.
bicycle.
He stole my bicycle.
I'm going to tell you the story.
And I was not well at the time.
Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
He took advantage of a person in need.
Yeah, you were
A person
in need.
struggling, in pain.
You were in...
He did. He hurt me badly. I want you to know that. Is this being taped? Is somebody taping this? I want it on record. Did
I wouldn't hurt you for the world, Leonard. But the problem was, every time they'd call lunch, you'd get on your bike and bicycle down to the commissary and get there ahead of line.
That's the logical thing to do.
Is there something I said? He's pushing the thing back. Look, watch
I'm looking for the water. You want some water?
Yeah.
It's true. I had a bicycle. It had my name on it, too. That's right. Said it right there, Leonard Nemoy. And it spelled it correctly, too. N-I-M-O-Y. Okay, and I used to get on the bike because we had not a lot of time to get from the stage to the commissary to get your lunch and then get back to the makeup department, get the ears touched up, and then get back to the stage and go to work. So I used a bicycle.
Right.
And one day I walked outside the stage and my bicycle was gone.
Right.
So I came in on the stage and I was kind of upset. I said, "Who took my bicycle? Come on, guys. I got it here for a reason."
It wasn't gone. It wasn't gone. It was changed.
No, this is before. Now, my friend here decides he's going to have some fun with me. So one day after I had complained, he got my bicycle and he tied it to a rope, and they put the rope up in the rafters. And the ceiling is higher than this ceiling here in a soundstage. And with my bicycle, and everybody starts laughing. Ha 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 ha. I mean, is that funny to hide a guy's bicycle? And I was in bad shape. I mean, I could hardly walk at the time. I was like this, Bill, you take advantage of a guy who's hurting. I was hurting very badly. I want some sympathy.
Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. He's only telling you half the story. Let me tell you the rest of the story. When he first got the bike, he'd pedal like crazy, and he'd get down to the commissary ahead of everybody else, and he'd get lunch before everybody else had. Now, these are important things. So I bought a chain and one of those locks that when you shoot them, they still remain in place. And I locked the bike to a fire hydrant.
Why?
And he came out and he said, who did this?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Well, because we all had to have lunch too. Everybody had their right turn. We had to run down that street and get our lunch. So he got bolt cutters the next day and opened the thing, and he got his bike. So the following day, well, look.
I'm not going to help you out.
No. I don't need any help.
You're on your own.
I want to know whether you remember this.
I remember everything.
I breed Dobermans as well as horses. Dobermans. Now, Dobermans are great dogs. They're very territorial. They love their master. And
his dogs are meaner than he is. And that's not easy.
I'm territorial too. So I put my dog in my dressing room every morning to go and act. So when I saw that his bike was unchained and somebody could take it, I took his bike and I put it for safekeeping in my dressing room. And when he asked me where his bike was, I said, I put it in my dressing room for safekeeping, Leonard. And then I went off to lunch. He got very upset, just because a Doberman went for his throat. I told him the best way to stop a charging Doberman is while it's in midair, you reach in and grab its tongue.
With the Vulcan death grip.
Immediately stops.
I tried the Vulcan death grip, it didn't work. The next day, I had a very large car. I was driving a large Buick in those days. I had a large Buick.
You're still driving
parked
it.
Parked outside the soundstage. And to protect my bicycle, I put it inside my Buick and locked the car. Guess who had my car towed away? This is not a nice guy. This is not a nice guy.
It was one of those flyer bicycles, and I still have it. They're worth a lot of money. Oh, golly. What was your favorite episode, Leonard?
Spock's brain.
I think we did a good job of putting it back in, don't you?
There were a lot that I remember fondly. I really do remember City on the Edge of Forever being a wonderful episode, and I really thought he was very good in it. I have to tell you the truth. I thought he was very good. Very good. And I was very affected by that love story between he and Joan Collins, and the end of the show when he did that last line about "Let's get the hell out of here," you know. Really, there was something about it that it was different. It was very touching. It was very real. It was a wonderful script. I thought it was well directed and very well acted by Bill, and I remember it very, very vividly. I remember This Side of Paradise, which I thought was a wonderful Dorothy Fontana script. I remember the Devil in the Dark, which I thought was a beautiful script. I remember A Mark Time by Theodore Sturgeon. Lovely script. That was a show where the words "live long and prosper" were spoken for the first time.
Really?
Yeah. And I will never forget when she said to me near the end of the episode, when I thought that I had killed you, and Celia Lofsky, a lovely actress who played T'Pau, said, "Live long and prosper, Spock," and I hardly could get the line out. She said, "Live long and prosper, Spock," and I could hardly say it. I had to say, I will do neither. I have killed my captain and my friend." And it really meant a lot to me to have to say those words. And then, of course, there was people accused me of having smiled when I saw him again. I didn't smile.
When did you realize that the Spock character had really taken hold and had become so popular? When was there a specific moment? Or
well, the very first time that I was asked to go out on a personal appearance after the show went on the air was in Medford, Oregon, and it was I think it was around December, January of the first season. So we'd only been on the air 3 or 4 months. And it's the only time ever that I did what I did. I went to Medford, Oregon to be the Grand Marshal in their parade at the Pear Blossom Festival, something they have there every year. And I went as Spock in character to ride in a car, in an open car,
with the ears?
down the main street of Medford, Oregon. We never made it. We didn't make it. I mean, I got in the car. They got me out of the hotel and in the car, and we were supposed to drive for about a mile down the main street and then end up in a public square. And after we'd driven about a block, the people started to come off the sidewalk and surrounded the car, and they was all they could do to get me out of there. I mean, it was such a
because you
scene.
You must understand that we're actors and those are characters. You do understand that. And that it would be insane to put on a costume and a piece of wardrobe and go as
It was insane.
Captain Kirk, and especially with the amount of makeup he needs. Less and less makeup now. But a couple of hours of makeup in order to put the ears on, which are in themselves irritating. I mean, the ears are putting on the ears is like putting on getting into a tank, I guess, and going off to battle. And for him to have done that, because he's never done it again, am I right?
That's right.
And there is a distance that he has placed between the artist Leonard Nemoy and the part of Mr. Spock, that for him to have said that is quite an enormous change.
Yeah.
Why did you change? If you went as Mr. Spock in those 3 months in the air, why did you change? What made you decide not to ever do it again?
I really didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know what it was all about. I wanted to explore it and find out what this was about, what it would be like to be amongst people on the streets of an American city at that time. Oh, there was one other time when I'll tell you about it, when I was on the street as Mr. Spock, but it was quite different. But I wanted to find out what it might be like. I wanted to find out how people would react to the character. I thought I might learn something. I thought it would be nice for the people to see Spock and maybe enjoy that. But it was bizarre. I think they really didn't know whether to touch me or not touch me, and they didn't quite know how I would react, and I didn't quite know how I should react.
But did you think that was the way to make a public appearance? I mean, did you think that they wouldn't ask you as Leonard Nimoy, but wanted you as the character?
I guess probably you're right. I guess probably that was part of it. I thought they know me as Spock, and if I don't come as Spock, they won't have any way of relating to me. They have no idea who I am. I said, well, who's that? I thought we came to see Spock, So, you understand that, don't you? Yeah.
Sure we do.
One time, I remember I had a very severe tooth problem. And I had been seeing a particular dentist, and I was in a lot of pain one day. I don't know if you remember this. I had to get off the set. I called my dentist. I said, I'm having a lot of pain on this tooth that he'd been working on. And the dentist was on vacation. There was a lady who took the call. She said, your dentist, Dr. So-and-so, is not here, but there's another doctor in the office covering his patients. If you want to come in, he'll see you. So I said, okay, I will. And I went to this office. I walked off the stage as Spock, got into my car as Spock, drove up onto Sunset Boulevard and parked the car right in front of this building. And I stepped out of the car and walked across the sidewalk. Nobody blinked an eye. This is true. Now, I walked into this building. I stepped into the elevator with a whole bunch of people, and it got very quiet in the elevator. I pressed the button for the floor. I got off of the appropriate floor, floor 10 or whatever it was, and I walked to this office. I opened the door. There was a lady who was sitting there writing as I walked in, as I recall. And I walked in, and I stood there in front of her, and she looked up, and she looked right back down to the paper. Went right on right. She said, yes, what can I do for you? And I said, my name is Leonard Nemoy. I called about my tooth. She said, okay, sit there. The doctor will be with you in a few moments. I sat down. Not a word was spoken. Eventually, she said, the doctor will see you now. Walked me in. I met this dentist, and he said, hello, I'm Dr. So-and-so. And I said, how do you do? I'm Leonard Nemoy. I said, fine. Please sit down and show me where the problem is. I sat down, right here. And he went to work on my tooth, worked on me for about a half hour. And they said, if you have any more trouble, call Dr. So-and-so, who will be back from vacation. They never said a word to me about what is this? What are you doing? Who are you? Are you crazy? Are you sane? Are you safe to be around? Is it safe to touch you? Can you imagine what they said about me after I walked out the door? It's the only other time I went out as Spock in public.
We had another experience with non-doctors that you and I shared, along with DeForest, as a matter of fact. We have spent hours, as you can imagine, hours upon hours in the makeup room. And everybody, the three of us, every so often look off a far away look in our ears.
Why does he do that? I told you he's not a nice guy.
Can I share this with you? I didn't mean to say years. I meant to say eyes. We've been talking about your ears for an hour and a half now, and just the word came out of my faraway look in our eyes. And one day I said to Leonard, "Do you have a ringing in your ears?" And he said, "Yes, I do. Do you?" I said, "Yes, I do." And DeForest said, "So do I." And we looked at each other. We have tinnitus, the three of us. That's a ringing, a constant ringing in the ears. And Leonard said, "I know where it's from." We were all on a set. Do you remember the episode?
No, I do not remember the episode, no.
And the special effects guy had to make an explosion on the set. So he put some powder, and special effects, as we all know from the headlines, from people who've been killed, is more of an art than a science. I mean, they're kind of guessing at what they're doing. So this guy put a load of powder in the thing. The three of us
say, in a big barrel.
"Oh, yeah, it's in a barrel. Well, Spock, I think we'll, step over this barrel now, Spock." Boom. And explosion. And we were in an enclosed space. Well, the idiot was supposed to have cracked the doors in the soundstage. He never did. There was like an implosion.
The concussion hit us in the ear, yeah.
And the three of us went like this, and we all trotted off to the same doctor, all in makeup. The guy looked in Leonard's ear and saw all the way through. Okay, listen to me. It's 10 to 10. We've been here a long time. On the other hand, listen, you take that corner, I'll take this corner. I want to thank you very much for coming. It's been a pleasure to be here. This has been as enjoyable experience for me as it has been for Leonard. I hope it's been as much fun for you as it has been for me. Thank you.
Listen, very seriously, wait a minute. Very seriously, I would feel a little shortchanged if I didn't get a chance to say to you that we are a couple of very, very grateful people. All of us on Star Trek are extremely grateful to all of you who have been so supportive. We always know that you're there waiting for the work that we do. We always know that you enjoy the good stuff and you forgive us the mistakes that we make. We know that without you, we could not have survived all this time and had this wonderful ride. You have enriched our lives. We hope we've given something back to you. Thank you very, very much. May you all live long and prosper. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, 7.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.